What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to the Chariot Friends. Feel that energy, Cancer's feeling pretty big today. Justin here, and I hope you're feeling expansive today, Cancer. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just epic, Cancer, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self is about you here. We're in for an amazing journey. Now, the purpose of this channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, wherever, Cancer, this one's for you. Hold on, let me read this in, Cancer. And I do tarot cards based of our ruler here, the good old moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, and when she's going to avoid, of course, just all of those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're aware that Cancer, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, never force a reading on a situation, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Cancer, I'll tell you why partway I'm so excited. I've been getting like downloads like crazy. I got a lot of books that are coming. I got a whole bunch of books. It's ridiculous. Cancer, your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling educated. Because they're all up in this stuff, just full of knowledge. Seriously, knowledge all over the place, Cancer. And it's just great energy all around here. Oh, and Cancer, before I get into this whole thing, happy Venus Day. Venus is a great day for doing some self-care, Cancer, doing some things to treat yourself. You know, this can be a great day for maybe setting up a nice little meal, maybe like a little get-together with some friends, possibly their Cancer, or maybe you want to go out for maybe like a picnic, who knows, Cancer, or yeah, just kind of like getting together, socializing, getting out there and appreciating. I feel beauty is another thing. Getting into those Venusian type of things there, Cancer. Appreciating the nature that's around you, everything, depending on where you're at. Everything's coming to bloom, or everything's, getting ready. We're shifting over into fall time, and that's also beautiful. But whatever is going on, appreciating beauty at all stages of life there, Cancer, in all forms, however it comes. Maybe we're going to an art museum, maybe we're going to a museum, just maybe we're going to an orchestra there, Cancer. See if there's any municipal bands maybe playing around. But this is a great time. Maybe it's payday, great day for maybe even doing some financial stuff, maybe even like doing some balancing the checkbooks, maybe even starting off some ideas there, Cancer. Really can be constructive with this Venus Day. Creative endeavors. But also, Cancer, we have a waning gibbous moon that is, the moon is in a waning gibbous phase in Sagittarius. This is I like when the moon's in Sagittarius, because this is, and like when the moon's in fire signs, because I feel that the fire signs give us, even when we're in that waning half of the lunar cycles there, Cancer, and we're getting to this place where we're making space, we're evaluating stuff, we're assessing things, letting things go, just making space for this new stuff that's happening. I feel Sagittarius, even though there's some things that we're letting go, Sagittarius invites us to see this as an opportunity. What am I going to fill that space with? In what ways do I want to expand? Do I want to grow? Jupiter right now, the guardian of Sagittarius, is in Taurus. And with Jupiter having been in Taurus this time, this has been a great time for assessing the things that we value, the stuff that we've built, or that we've used, that we've built the security around ourselves in. And this gives us a chance to see how we've maybe been a little rigid, possibly and maybe even dogmatic in how we've been going about something. And now, again, this is an invitation to expand and to grow. Ooh, I like that, Cancer. Hold on. Thank you, Higher Self. We'll talk about that. I love how that kind of correlates. But yeah, this is a time of, anytime you get to talking about Sagittarius, Jupiter, again, that's a time of growth and wisdom. And that's where I feel the luck is. Because luck and abundance, I feel like it's always all around you, Cancer, but it's one of those things that until we seek to broaden our horizons in a sense, we don't realize in all the ways that we are abundant, that we are now, or that we are lucky, and I just feel that this can be one where we're changing the trajectory of the story a little bit. Sagittarius is, yes, they're the archer, the centaur, but I was reading something not too, this is a big shocker. I was reading something not too long ago, and it was talking about Sagittarius as the arrow. And I feel that there's this leap of faith that this moon in Sagittarius is offering as well. A chance to not just think about all the ways that things can go wrong. There's an honesty that does come with Sagittarius, but I feel like it's not just an honesty of how things can go wrong, how things can go right, and what are some fears and things that have gotten in our way from pursuing those ways that it could go right, Because sometimes I feel too, even when things go wrong, sure, they don't feel great, but they may not be as bad as we can imagine them to be. And I feel like, again, that there's that aspect of faith that comes through with that Sagittarius energy that I feel like the moon is just kind of asking us to kind of go for it. Their Cancer. When the moon's in Sagittarius, this is when I'm on my personal lunar return. This is when my moon is, or the moon is in opposition with my natal moon. And it's always right at the very beginning degree of it. And it's like the moon is giving this invitation, always of just like, let's expand, let's grow. And then I'm always like, well, the Gemini moon in me is just like, well, what about this? What about this? Considering all. And that's where the opposition between, I feel, Gemini and Sagittarius is not that as tricky, but it has its nuances. It's very interesting how that opposition works, but I feel like when you do get them on the same page, they find a compromise, and that there can be a lot of expansion, a lot of understanding that can come through with that. And Cancer, this is where if you're curious with how this energy is translating in your chart, book a reading with me. I do personal readings of doing natal charts. Like if you're wanting to look on like a monthly basis, a lunar return chart is great for that. The energy lasts for about a month. Or we can look over like your solar return, your progress chart there, Cancer. Really kind of get in to see where the planets are transiting in what houses for you, what areas that we may want to kind of pay more attention to, see where the energies are trying to kind of guide you there, Cancer. It's very fascinating when you get in the flow, and how even when you're not paying attention to the stuff, how you can find that energy in the stories. And so it's like, if it can translate like this when I wasn't paying attention, imagine when I'm making these conscious decisions, when I have this kind of heads up, like, oh, okay, this, like Saturn may be doing, sextiling my Venus. This may be a favorable time to maybe create some more kind of deeper kind of partnerships. Maybe this is time to get like maybe with a mentor, possibly partner with some elders, something here. Or this could be a time where we're kind of cracking down on finances. There's an it's really neat when you think about that type of stuff there, Cancer, and the questions that astrology can bring up for you. So if that's something that you're interested in, or something that resonates with you there, Cancer, check down in the description box below, and also on my Instagram page as well. And if you have any questions, feel free to DM me about any of the stuff on the Instagram page there, Cancer. And then I think that's all I got for you on that lunar energy there. But last couple of things there, Cancer, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And then the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below are some links for some other readers that I like watching their, Cancer, so definitely check them out. They are fantastic. I also have a link for an astrologer down there, a couple links for some podcasts, and some astrology websites that I think are really useful there, Cancer. Some apps. Is a whole treasure trove down there, so avail yourself of all that stuff. Let's get into this abundant energy there, Cancer, because you have the Rabbit Spirit here, which is a card of now is a lucky time. And I love this, Cancer. You talk about Jupiter being the planet of luck, Sagittarius being under the guardianship of Jupiter. This is an auspicious time. This auspicious energy here, Cancer. And when you think about the waning gibbous too, this is a time of where we're kind of expressing gratitude for the things that have not just, I feel like, the ways that you've grown, Cancer, and the great things that have come and that have elevated you, but expressing that same gratitude for when things didn't quite pan out how you thought they were. Because now, Cancer, that those were learning experiences. It's kind of like that Jupiter and Taurus. It kind of showed you where we can kind of improve, where the foundation wasn't as sturdy as maybe we had anticipated it to be. But now this is a time to... It's better that you caught it now before things really took off and then it was a whole disaster, as opposed, it's like it becomes almost like this energy of like a hindsight is 2020 type of thing. But I do feel like, Cancer, now is usually a lucky time to really do anything, because we're not, guaranteed tomorrow. And that's not to be in a kind of like a morbid sense or anything along those lines, but it is a record, or more so of an invitation to be more aware, to be more present, to see that there are all kinds of lucky experiences around you. Every time I find like change or something on the sidewalk, I'm like, ooh, look at all this abundance here. I'll tell you, one time, Cancer, I was walking down the street and there was $10 just all on. I was like, oh yeah, universe, is that how we feel? We're just like money just falling out of the sky. Sign me up. But it's what happens when I feel like you're kind of tuned in. You're attracting that abundance there, Cancer. And there's there's a trickiness with Jupiter energy, because there is that chance of where you don't want to get to where we're being unrealistic, of course, but we do, there's an honesty that's coming through with Sagittarius, but we do need to it's a balancing act, I feel, when you get into Jupiter energy. And when you find that sweet spot, there's that red spot, and well, granted, there's a storm there, but I like to think of that as an abundant storm in this in this particular scenario there, Cancer. And I feel like when you find that sweet spot, then they're just surrounded by this abundance. It's just like, it just feels a little bit more focused, a bit more intentional, as opposed to just being lucky. You're in the right vibration at the right time because it's what you chose. You know what I mean, Cancer? It's very, very interesting what I'm getting with this energy. And I love when we kind of talk about that sort of like kismet, and that's been a fancy word that's been flowing around there. I've been liking that one. Or even just like fortune, abundance, luck, things along those lines. I do feel like, sure, there is a certain amount of fate and things that do come with that, Cancer, but again, there's opportunities that can be around us that we can miss at any given time if our energy is caught up elsewhere. So yeah, let's get some tarot on this, Cancer, and get some details. All right, Cancer. Thank you, yourself. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, love it. Starting off with us there, Cancer. Ooh, and look at Aries. So you have the lovely Queen of Moons here, Cancer, one of our cards. The Ten of Stars, the Page of Wands. Oh, and the Tower here, Cancer, all upright. And then you have the Fool, the Full Uranus, the Tower's Mars, Cancer, the Emperor, Aries, and then the Eight of Stars in reverse here, Cancer. And that's very fascinating. Starting off very strong Aries energy here, Cancer. And we're getting into very strong energies with that Aries Cancer. And I really feel that this is a time, really Cancer, again, to really have this awareness of how these energies are interacting with you. Even if we're not talking in just like an astrology term, just tuning in general. How are you feeling? How, evaluating stuff. How have things been going in your life? Are you feeling fulfilled? You know, I'm not saying like, you know, astrology, tarot, anything's are all the answer, are always the answers. You do need to live this life as well there, Cancer. But I do feel like we need to ask ourselves sometimes, what are we living for? What are we doing? You know, what's the direction that we're going towards? And I feel like, for example, just thinking about this Mars energy, this Aries energy really that's going on, when that eclipse is happening, the new moon, supermoon, it's going to be supermoon, Cancer. This new supermoon, I want to say, hold on, let me double check there, Cancer. Yes, it's a new supermoon solar eclipse there, Cancer. And so that's going to be forming, when that conjunction is happening, is going to be happening in my solar return. It's going to be happening on the same degree that my Chiron placement is happening. So I actually I really like looking into Chiron anyway, because I have Chiron in Cancer, and it's in the 12th house. So, you know, it's like getting involved with that, dealing with some healing some subconscious wounds and things. But also, you know, it got me really excited because it could seem like, you know, when you think about Chiron, that's the wounded healer, may bring up some intense things, but it's like, this gives me a chance to, instead of it catching me off guard, Tower energy, being upright, again, this is a chance for you to take action. I feel, Cancer, with this luck energy here. When something, because even with this Fool here, this is very interesting. I feel whatever is preventing you from taking a leap of faith there, Cancer, because again, that's where Jupiter kind of gets into when we're thinking about this. This is, I feel like, a time to, it's like, what I'm getting, Cancer, whatever's keeping you from taking a leap or trying something here, just again, look at how things are working. Look at your day-to-day with this Eight of Stars here. This is the Sun in Virgo. So this is looking at the things that we're putting our energy towards. Is this something that is of use, that's contributing to your long terms, or is it just keeping you, interesting, I'm getting like just keeping you kind of in a state of survival here, you know, because that's why I feel like Aries energy, when it's just Aries, I feel like energy is not about just surviving, it's about thriving. You know, it takes that fear and gives you a chance with this Page of Wands to act on that, to embrace this stuff. But I'm just, it's interesting, Cancer. I just feel like this can be with the Queen of Moons. This can be a very healing time for the self-esteem, because, you know, when this Aries energy is going on, and when we're in Aries season, these planets are transiting through this energy. This is affecting your Cancer placements, and it's going to be forming squares again, which they're tense energies. They're Cancer, and there are going to be certain things that aren't going to be working anymore. Squares are invitations for change, though. They're not there to just keep you just feeling like, oh, you're just going to go through a rough time. It's like, no, what are we going to do about this energy so that towers don't keep happening to us? They're happening for us, and we're causing the towers. We're change may happen all the time, but change can happen at our pace. It can happen at our, you know, there is a level of control that we have over that kind of energy there, Cancer. So, you know, and it takes some work, I feel, to get into that flow. It's not going to be something, I feel, where, you know, unfortunately, how we're in that sort of like instant gratification type of stage, but it's something that we have to work at here with the Eight of Stars. It requires hard work. It's not going to be easy where just like, oh, things are just, abundance is going to fall into your lap. It requires, you know, the effort that goes in through this as well, you know, Cancer. But let's get some more on this, because I do feel that Page of Wands energy. It's okay to have that. I feel there's an excitement, but the excitement I feel from the Page of Wands, it's very fascinating, Cancer. Thank you, higher self. Because it's like the Page of Wands is excited, but he's being blocked, I feel, by this Emperor and by this Fool being in reverse here. It's like there's a responsibility, I feel, when it comes with freedom and, and making these choices. And yes, it can be this work, but I feel like it's more satisfying when, again, the Tower moments and the actions are on your terms, as opposed to just feels like the universe is just happening to you there, Cancer. And it was just like, oh, I was lucky that things happen. Of course, again, maybe an aspect of luck comes into it, Cancer, but it's a sense of will. There's more will to it and more choice than I feel like you're giving yourself credit for there, Cancer. But Cancer, you have the Seven of Swords and the King of Swords upright, and then you have the Ace of Wands, the Six of Moons, and one of the special major arcana cards, this card, the New Moon. And wasn't I mentioning in this, Cancer, that it seems that the decks, because, again, I didn't necessarily plan to use this deck because of the fact that we're in eclipse season. It really was just sort of one of those intuitive acts. But you've been getting this, there's been a lot of this alternating new moon, full moon energy that's been going on here. And, Cancer, I really feel that this is a time, especially with this new moon that's coming up there, setting some goals as far as like, what do you want to grow, where do you want to grow, where do you want to heal. I feel like, especially if you're like myself, if you have in any of your points, because the nice thing about the other charts are that they're, with that one in my solar return, for example, it's, like the solar returns are for the year. And so it's like that this time that this is happening, this is a big year. And it's actually interesting because where Chiron is in my solar return, it also happens to be in the 12th house, which is where my natal placement is at. So that's where I'm like, this is where you can pay attention to, because now this is an invitation to heal any sort of past things that you've been wanting to address there, Cancer. This can be where we're facing some truths with the Seven of Swords, where this is a lucky time to gain control, I feel, of your energies, of the direction that things are flowing. This is an auspicious time, Cancer, because I do feel that we collectively are trying to shift to this place of more awareness. Listen to my partner kind of talk with their clients, and I'll hear every now and again one person happen to mention like, oh yeah, I happen to have a Gemini rising, and they're talking about Mercury retrogrades, and I was just like, I wonder if you really understand. Like, it's one thing to say that, but just like, oh, do you understand? Like, yes, Mercury being your chart guardian, Mercury retrogrades are a big deal, and it may even be something where it's like but it's just so fascinating that again, that King of Swords, that awareness is there. Cancer. And it's, again, this is a time to take the knowledge that you have and turn it into wisdom. This is a time to really kind of shape your destiny. And Cancer, again, I'm not saying like this is like, we're not just, if you feel so compelled, take a leap of faith. The thing that started me on this journey, this whole healing journey, was I did something that was, at the time, it probably was a little excessive, but it was what I felt I needed. I got divorced. I did like a whole, and I just went out on my own. And I had help, of course, but even like relationships along the way, transforming. Now, granted, things have come full circle. We're back. We're doing better. We're doing great. But it's a whole thing there, Cancer. But sometimes it's like, when you're worried about like, can I take the leap? Sometimes you just have to prove something to yourself. Like, this is it's as great a time as any to start something new, do something you've never done before, journey. And that's what Sagittarius is about. That kind of, that journey of something bigger than your home space and of your daily routine. This is doing something expansive, something out of the norm, do something that you've just never experienced or seen before. And just, but let's get some advice from Big Papa, you know. And this is a lucky time, I feel, too, Cancer. Because even though all this energy is happening in Aries, Mars is in a softer energy, being in Pisces, when all this stuff is happening. So, you know, a lot of this is going to be intuitively guided. You know, and a lot of it always is. But I feel like this is really a time to tune into those feelings, Cancer. To trust that intuition and allow... Take care of yourself. You allow the energies to guide you. Cancer. I love when... Fascinating. I love when you sync up with the energies, Cancer. So you have small reversal storm here, Cancer, but that's all right. Because you have the Four of Moons, the Five of Wands, the Temperance card, Sagittarius, the Death card, Scorpio, and there's that other moon I was talking about here, Cancer, the full moon in reverse. And let's switch back over here, Cancer. Things are changing, Cancer, whether you like them or not. With the Death card being here. We can resist the change and stay out of balance with the Temperance card, or we can see this with the Four of Moons as an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to get out of your comfort zone and to try something new. And it doesn't have to be anything extreme. You know, when we're thinking about taking you, this could be where, you know, maybe you've wanted to become... I'm just looking at this hand, for example. Maybe with where the clothes prices are at, you're wanting to maybe learn how to sew. Maybe this is taking that time to learn how to do that, Cancer. Maybe you've been wanting to learn how to grow things. This may be time to make more time for that. Maybe you want to make your own food. You know something, Cancer? I have this garlic that's been just kind of growing, and I'm about to start planting some stuff, and I saw this random and I don't do social media like that, so I saw this random TikTok too that was talking about different ways to grow stuff, and I saw a couple of ideas, and I was just like, huh, so I'm gonna start doing that. But this is the time to just start doing stuff there, Cancer. And that's what I'm saying. It's like these small little things that start fulfilling you in a different type of way there, Cancer. Because I feel like when you start doing the stuff that you want to do that resonates with you, then when we get to the full moon, you know, you start those intentions with the new one. And then you see where, oh, I've made space for this thing, and this has been enjoyable, but this other thing that used to maybe bring something for me is starting to cause conflict. And it may just be because you've outgrown that, whatever that may be there, Cancer. Something that has served its purpose. This could be a certain habit. This could be a certain environment. This can be a certain job. This could be a certain relationship. Whatever it is, but I do feel that there's no time like the present, Cancer, to start doing just little changes each day. And again, they don't have to be, you know, as long, I feel like at the end of the day, when you ask yourself, did I do everything to do, did I take as many steps as I could? Of course, there may have been some things where you may have slacked. Of course, show yourself some grace there, Cancer. But for the most part, did I show up for myself today? Was I conscious in the decisions that I was making, or was I checked out today? And what was going on that I was checked out, you know, and then finding the source of that. And, you know, tomorrow I'm going to handle that. Or maybe I'm going to self-care and think about handling it here soon. But at least I got eyes on it. You know, like something along those lines, like really start setting intentions, Cancer. Start writing some stuff down even, you know, like again, however this may look. But you know, I feel that, and I love that too, even just last little thing there, Cancer, how you got Mars here, and he's the guardian of both Scorpio, the Death card, and Emperor, the Aries. And both of them, you know, Mars, the Aries is the instinctual side of Mars, that action that he takes, and Scorpio is the emotional side of Mars. And they both kind of use fear as fuel. You know, there is that. But you know what? When I meet both, when I'm thinking about the sign of Aries and of Scorpios and the people that I've met with those placements, they're usually really great. You know, like there's, it's fascinating there, Cancer. But yeah, this is a time there, Cancer. Change, growth, all this stuff. I really like this. So thinking about that, Cancer, and you know, I'll tell you one more thing, Cancer. You know, when you're tuning in, I feel with the energies, you even start forming these. You start realizing the connections that you already kind of have. Like for example, I've been kind of feeling Neptune's energies a bit more here over the last couple of months, and I've been kind of sensing that move from Aries into Pisces, and you know, I'm with my birth chart. I'm constantly in conversation whether there's something going on with Neptune or not. My birth chart is always my sun sign is always in conversation with Neptune, like where it's like my second tightest aspect after Saturn doing with my midheaven, which is fine. It's fine. It's getting me where I need to be, but you know, I've been tuning in with that Neptune, and it's just like that's going to be an interesting time for the cardinal signs when Neptune moves into Aries, because that's going to form squares with your Capricorn and Cancer placements, and if you have any Libra placements, that's forming oppositions. So yeah, this is a time. This is the time, Cancer, to start thinking ahead. You know, to start making things so that when these things come again, the crises, the challenges, they're going to keep coming, but at least you're prepared for it. You know it's going to rain in 2 weeks, so I can get rain boots, I can get an umbrella, I can get a jacket. You know, that's what astrology is for, to get you prepped for that, Cancer, and the tarot and all this stuff, get you asking questions. But all right, Cancer, I think I'm going to leave that there. But if you like that, Cancer, if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. And share this, Cancer, if you know someone who's been, you know, kind of just maybe dragging their feet, maybe taking time for granted, you know, because and that's been a theme I've been kind of noticing here. Like, it feels like it's been where, and it's not to get you to panic or worry anything, Cancer, but it is more so just to, like, again, bring some sort of awareness. Like, hey, let's, you know, these dreams and things and whatnot, so let's get them moving. Let's get some stuff cooking, you know, whatever that's like. Go join that spin class, go crochet that, I don't know if you crochet basket, go weave that basket, there you go, you know, this rabbit here, she has kids. You know, maybe think about a family, Cancer. Maybe start a family. I know Scorpio actually just had some of their son in Scorpio, but and Pluto. But yes, Cancer, and then subscribe there, you lovely Queen of Moon, you full and new moon. Hit that bell button to get notified on all these videos each day. And then Cancer, now is maybe a lucky time to Cancer to check in, you know, book a reading with me. We can find out how these energies are working with your chart. See, maybe you're like myself, maybe your moon's in Gemini. This is you get a lunar opposition, maybe things feel a little bit tense. And you know, Cancer, I like the lunar returns. Just you really kind of it's a nice marker. I'm someone who kind of likes, you know, maybe this is a month where it's like, okay, what is going to be my goals? Because sometimes having my moon in Gemini can be all over the place. So it's like, okay, let's rein it in. Okay, eighth house stuff. Like right now, I have moons in the eighth house, suns in the sixth house. So it's like, okay, there's gonna be changes into my routine. You know, what's that gonna be looking like when there has been? And it's just like, you know, what's that looking like? You know, how am I doing more things for? It's really cool when you get to thinking about that type of stuff. And you know, then we get into like again the solar return. We start getting into like the progress chart, thinking about these broader pictures again, where certain aspects are forming, especially with like the solar and the progress chart. You know, the lunar ones, they're so short, you know, those are kind of the real brief ones, but the longer ones, you know, this is kind of, you can see if you're having like a jam-packed year, or maybe you're having more of a quiet year where you can get kind of caught up on some things. So definitely check that stuff down in the description box, or Cancer, or again on my Instagram page. And then after we get done checking each other, Cancer, you can come over to my other channel, Alchemist 8. I do weekly videos there talking about those are more sort of for the soul tribe. I talk about the aspects that are happening every Wednesday. I'm flirting with something here. I want to turn those into lives, Cancer. So I may start doing those on Sunday, but I gotta move some pieces around here. So I'm getting ready to take another leap of faith here soon. So, but then I do monthly ones, which are more geared towards the zodiac signs. When the sun moves into a different sign, I'll do a different reading for that. And then I do yearly ones as well, which is like your solar return reading there, Cancer. So that's neat. And all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, Cancer, so I can get you out of here. Can't look at this. The universe, ace of stars. The universe is showering you with abundance, Cancer. It's raining, but like I was saying, like it's raining money. It's raining abundance, Cancer. And now is the time to start planting seeds. The aces are like my seed cards here. And what, we got Ace of Wands here. We just got to put the energy behind it, Cancer. The abundance is there. The opportunities are there. You just have to go seize them and see them to completion there, Cancer, with this full moon energy. So, I mean, I feel like you got a lot of majors here that, and especially with that Temperance card, speaking of like with Sagittarius kind of being the main theme here, that Temperance card is really kind of saying, what's out of whack, Cancer? Have you been overworking? Have you been, just what's gotten out, look at what's gotten out of balance, or, where there's been this sort of like overindulgence, or where there's been just these opposing forces that are not working and something is needing to maybe give, but again, since I was talking about that new and full moon and the fact that you got the new and full moon in this one, Cancer, always, I feel like tuning in, if you don't tune in anything else, tune into the lunar cycle. That's I feel like is a great one to work with. That's a great way to set just different monthly kind of intentions. And, this doesn't even have to be your personal one. It'd be nice if you kept track at least of how these affect you. But just pay attention, how that energies, just interact with you. And that just can tell you how you can go about your day-to-day, Cancer. But, hold on. Think of yourself. All right, Cancer, so you have, for your Oracle card here, you got the Ripple Effect card. And this is a card, a part of something bigger. Details are taken care of. And I love that. So, and I know how this sounds, Cancer, but I do feel like this is a big this is the Fool card. This is a big leap of faith. The details are taken care of. Part of something bigger. I just feel like this is the time I'm getting this energy of leap, Cancer, whatever this is. And again, as a calculator, we're not putting ourselves in, but there is an element of risk that comes with this. There's going to be the chance of failure. There's going to be the chance of this. There's going to be the chance of that. I get that, but I feel like have more faith in yourself there, Cancer. There's also the chance of success. There's also the chance of major growth. There's also the chance of like an Ace of Stars, money falling out of the sky, resources falling out of the sky, self-confidence. Cancer, Jupiter's in Taurus. We're expanding. I feel like this sense of self-security, like that you really, I don't know, Cancer, it's very, I feel like as you start taking these leaps, something bigger happens. You just like you channel, you open like a whole new level of things there is what I'm picturing. I'm picturing like a pulse. It's saying as soon as you take a leap, doom, it's like something, you're sending the signal out to the universe like, I'm ready. And universe is like, bet. let's get it. So I like that, Cancer. I think I'm going to leave that there. So you stay safe out there. But Cancer, now is a lucky time. I like that. I really like that, Cancer. I feel like that's, if that's not your higher self trying to give you a signal, I don't know what is, Cancer. But you keep eyes on that moon. I haven't been able to see her in the last couple of days there, Cancer. But I know I feel her. I sense her there. She's bringing the light. She's blessing the crystals. It's fine. At least that's what I'm telling myself. And I got Rhonda here. It's great, Cancer. On the next one, Monday,